April showers bring May flowers, but not the kind you think. This is the Happy Diabetic Kitchen, the podcast about people who love to eat and cook healthy. This is your guide to the world of healthy cooking and conversation about happy diabetic living and lifestyles, where we turn ordinary ingredients into something extraordinary. Welcome to the kitchen and let's get cooking. Hello everyone, I am Chef Robert Lewis, the Happy Diabetic, and this is the internet's most delicious cooking podcast. I'm here in the kitchen getting ready to explore a healthy diabetic lifestyle. I want to take the mystery out of healthy cooking and explore some amazing foods and share my diabetic journey with all my successes and all my challenges. So welcome to the kitchen. And if you're new to the show, I'm happy you're here. With me in the kitchen, as always, is Jason, my son, engineer, producer of the podcast. Hey, good afternoon, Jace.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm great.
Great. Hey, it's April, and there's snow in Minnesota, there's rain in Iowa, and the Mississippi River is flooding.
Yeah.
What the heck is going on?
Don't know. It's one of those years. It's been a while.
Crazy. Did you have a good week?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Just, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did have a good week.
Yeah.
It's been warming up here.
Yeah.
Had
Awesome.
little April showers.
Yeah, yeah. We just got back from Santa Clara at a Taking Control of Your Diabetes conference. Met a lot of amazing people. Going to share a little bit about that experience, but good to be back home. Good to be back in the studio, and I think we've got a really good show for today.
Awesome.
So today in the kitchen, it's all about April showers brings May flowers, but not those kind of flowers. We're going to talk about flour, like the kind you bake with, and grains today. So it's all about flowers. It's all about grains. I'll try to take some of the mystery out of those two ingredients for you today. We'll also talk with Lindsay Binnie, founder of Binnie Butter, an amazing coconut butter product that's really awesome. We also have the recipe of the podcast, an amazing pumpkin cheesecake made with almond flour. And we have a really great Because of My Podcast story and so much more. So, Jason, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get cooking. It's time for one of my favorite parts of the podcast. It's called Because of My Diabetes Story. Simply finish the statement, because of my diabetes, blank. Something positive, lemonade out of lemons. Maybe you met someone amazing who might have helped you. Tell us your story. Head over to happydiabetic.com, hit the send voicemail link, and record your story. This episode, Because of My Diabetes, came from Ron in Santa Clara. We met up there at last week's TCOYD conference. That's Taking Control of Your Diabetes.org is the website. So, Ron, take it away.
Hi, Chef Robert. My name is Ron Raquel. I live in Millbrae, California. I'm at the TCOYD seminar in Santa Clara, and I've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes since 2010, and I've just learned how to control and portion my diabetes, and every time I come to this conference I learn quite a bit of information, and you can spend all day here, and even longer than the 9 to 5 time slot that is available. But it's just a wealth of information, and you can never get enough information with diabetes because you're always learning and just getting feedback from other people.
Thanks so much, Ron. You are a happy diabetic rock star for sure. It was great to meet you, and I'm wishing you the best of luck. So before we get to our interview with Lindsay Binnie, let's talk about flours, and grains. Now, a question that comes up all the time for me is, what is the deal with white flour and why can't I ever eat it? Well, anytime you ever tell me that you can never eat anything, a red flag goes up. I'm a little concerned. Unless your doctor has told you or your nutritionist has told you that you suffer from some situation where you shouldn't be eating white flour, everything in moderation, everything in balance. But let's talk about white flour. White flour is made from wheat that's been milled, very finely ground. And most of the good bits, such as the germ and the bran, are removed. So we're mostly left with what's called endosperm, the starchy center of the grain. Most of the fiber and the nutrients have been removed. It does contain protein, but that protein is mainly gluten, which is a problem for some people. White flour is typically very high in carbohydrates. But for that matter, so is whole wheat flour. The difference is white flour digests very quickly, spiking your blood sugars, whereas whole wheat flour digests very slowly, keeping your blood sugars at a more level pace. But both have the same amount of carbohydrates. Okay, another very popular flour, which leads into the whole coconut discussion we're about to have with Lindsay, our guest, is coconut flour. It's one of the best substitutes to consider for substituting flour. It's great low-carb option for those who are currently on a reduced low-carb diet plan. Now, I'm taking insulin, so I'm really watching my carb intake. Coconut flour is very high in fiber, another really great thing that keeps your blood sugar from spiking. It's also great for stabilizing blood glucose levels and lowering total cholesterol. So a really good alternative could be coconut flour. But keep in mind, it is gluten-free, it's a great option, and it's got a coconut flavor. So again, not good for everything, but certainly could very well have a place in your arsenal of flours. So people also ask me what are the healthiest flours to cook with. Well, along with coconut flour, almond flour is amazing. Almond flour is a gluten-free, grain-based alternative for those sensitive to glutens or people that are on this paleo diet. It's really nice and nutty. Almonds pack the punch of important nutrients like magnesium, and they've been found to lower LDL cholesterol, aka bad cholesterol, in many studies. So I like to use almond flour, especially for baking cookies and cakes, and as a matter of fact, the recipe of the podcast will feature almond flour in my amazing cheesecake of love. It's also great for binding things like making veggie burgers. I especially like to coat things like chicken breast in it as an alternative to breadcrumbs if I'm lightly sauteing them in a fry pan. Another one of my favorite healthiest flours to cook with would be rice flour. So rice flour is a favorite among many for being naturally gluten-free. It's easily digestible and non-allergenic. I like brown rice flour, which has higher levels of vitamin B than its rice counterpart. I know that Amazon sells it under the Anthony's label, and that's also a very good brand, so it's readily available. So I like to use rice flour in wheat-free pasta. I've made pizza crusts out of rice flour and any other baked goods you could possibly think of, like cookies and cakes. Okay, let's move on to grains. Carbs get a negative rap because so many people reach for the wrong ones. You know, those carbs found in white bread and candy and cookies, sugary cereals, all sorts of treats and drinks. However, a low intake of whole grains is actually a leading dietary risk factor for death and disease in the U.S., according to a 2019 study published in The Lancet. The quote goes, 100% whole grains are the key component to any nutritious diet. This was confirmed by Jacqueline London, MSRD, CDN, and Nutritional Director of Good Housekeeping Institute. She says they're a great place to start if you're looking to make a healthier choice that doesn't disrupt your whole routine. Slow start and keep it simple by cutting your usual refined grain ingredients with 100% grain versions. So let's just chat. What are those 100% whole grain versions? Well, whole wheat or whole oats, like old-fashioned oatmeal. Jason, are you a oatmeal fan?
I am. I love oatmeal.
What do what do you like to put in your oatmeal?
I think ideally a little milk, a little raisins, a little brown sugar is perfect for me.
Yeah, I'm a stevia and raisin kind of guy. Now, the one thing I know is if you're looking for slower digestible carbohydrates and those kinds of things found in whole oats like oatmeal, always buy the old-fashioned oatmeal opposed to the instant. More processed, quicker digesting, spiking your blood sugars. If you have an instant pot, there are great recipes, and I'd be happy to share those with you for oatmeal that you can make that's really, really delicious. So my next favorite grain would be brown rice. So I always choose brown rice over white rice. Another favorite grain of mine is simple brown rice. Again, love to cook that in the Instant Pot. But when you choose white rice over brown, around 75% of its nutrients, including nearly all the antioxidants, magnesium, phosphorus, and B vitamins contained in the healthy brand and germ, are left on the milling floor. So if you're reaching for rice, reach for brown. It's really nutty, it's really delicious, and simple to cook, just like rice. Another great grain would be whole rye, whole grain barley, and I love whole grain barley. I love to add raisins and dried apricots to quick cooking barley. That's a great, great grain. Another one of my favorites is bulgur. Now, this is the grain that you use to make tabbouleh salad, which is a delicious salad made with this bulgur grain, tomatoes, oil and vinegar dressing, olives, onions. It's a great source of iron and magnesium. The fiber protein powerhouse, a cup contains nearly 75% of the dietary fiber you need for that day. Bulgur, a great, great grain. Okay, probably the hardest grain to say, but the most delicious to eat would be quinoa. I like to think of it as KEEN/WAH, quinoa. Though it's technically a seed and not a grain, this ancient South American power food is packed with more protein than any other grain, and it is gluten-free. And quinoa was a very important crop in the Inca Empire. Matter of fact, they referred to it as the mother of all grains and believed it to be sacred. So there's just a quick rundown of some of my favorite grains, some of my favorite flours, and I'm going to post some recipes on the website, happydiabetic.com, with some recipes with almond flour, and I'm going to have a tabbouleh salad up there, so watch for that. So after a short break, we're going to bring you the founder and CEO of Binnie Butter, Lindsay Binnie. But first, I want you to know there's a better way to manage your diabetes. So let me grab my DiaThrive tester. I'm going to insert my test strip into the unit. There we go. We've got the beep, beep, beep. I've got my lancet. I'll stick my finger, painlessly as possible. A little bit of blood. And let's just check my blood sugar using my DiaThrive meter. 3, 2, 1. 168. Okay, well, listen. I love my DiaThrive meter. Use it all the time. Like I said, there's a better way to manage your diabetes. Let me introduce you to my friends at DiaThrive.com. With DiaThrive, your testing supplies are shipped directly to your home when you need them. Gone are the days of visiting multiple stores to find the right strips, waiting in long lines to buy your supplies, and sorting through your insurance requirements and nightmares. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, DiaThrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. DiaThrive saves you time and saves you money. Plus, they're pretty fun to work with. So why don't you give DiaThrive.com a chance to show you there's a better way to manage your diabetes. Matter of fact, they're so convinced you're going to love their service that they're offering you $10 off your first testing supply order. Simply at checkout, use the code HAPPYDIABETIC at DiaThrive.com and get your $10 off your first order. I use DiaThrive. I love it. I think you will too.
So welcome everybody to the Happy Diabetic Kitchen Podcast interview segment of our show. Today we have a very special guest, Her name is Lindsay Binnie, founder, CEO of Binnie Butter, who is literally taking the coconut to a whole nother level. An amazing mom of 2 kiddos, wife of a great guy, a creative entrepreneur, and in full disclosure, just so you know, because it's all about the love, my niece. And Binnie Butter is now available in 280 retail stores in 8 states and online. So, Lindsay, I have to ask you the first question. Are you ready to get happy?
I am so ready. Thanks for having me, Uncle.
Oh, very welcome. So, hey, Lindsay, why don't you fill in the blanks for all the rest of the happy diabetics out there about anything else, who you are and what you're doing?
Yes, we are. I founded this company almost 5 years ago, and it's called Binnie's Coconut Butter. Our last name is Binnie. And we started this, I actually started it in my kitchen. I came up with some food allergy kind of sensitivity issues that popped up out of nowhere, and I also had a couple toddlers looking at me at the time, needing me to feed them, and I wasn't doing a very good job. So we were really into disgusting fake food like Velveeta and different kinds of, I don't know, preservative-laden, sugar-laden foods, and wasn't being very mindful of what we were putting in our bodies. So once I made the correlation that diet really does affect our health, I felt this responsibility to change what we were doing. So I made coconut butter spreads, and my kids loved them, and then we took them to farmers markets, and we found out there was a much bigger market for this kind of a product.
That's an awesome story. And didn't you, Lindsay, also start out by selling at farmers markets?
Yep. Yep, that is what we did. We first sold in farmers markets, and I remember our first market, I think I made 50 jars, and we were selling them for $10 a piece, and this was in Wyoming. We lived there at the time. I just remember the last few jars, we were just selling like crazy. In the first, it was maybe a 3-hour market, 4-hour, and we were almost completely sold out in that first hour. And there were moms that had come by the booth and said, hey, can you put that jar aside for me? And had come back and said, wait, then there was a fight that had ensued in front of my booth. Like, no, I wanted that. And this other mom saying, well, I want that one. And I would say, okay, ladies, let's just get along. I can make more. So I think that was kind of the moment we thought, okay, there is definitely something to this. People are literally fighting over this stuff.
A coconut butter fight in the parking lot of the farmer's market. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
So one of the most asked questions whenever I'm at an event speaking, the topic coconut and coconut butter always comes up. So I thought we'd just chat a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I've heard of coconut oil, but really, what is coconut butter?
Coconut butter.
Without giving away your secrets.
Right. No, coconut butter is it's a spread. So it contains the meat or the flesh of the coconut in it. So it's shredded coconut and coconut oil combined. And you would use it more as a topping versus maybe you're using the oil to saute things or maybe using it to swap your other oil in baked goods and that kind of thing. This is more of a topping. You can use it one-to-one in baking, but we like to just eat it either plain, like with a spoon, or we just came out with squeeze packs. We eat it directly from the packet, or put it on any kind of fruit, toast, apples, bananas, crackers, smoothies, that kind of a thing.
I know I've dipped apples in it, and it's really amazing, quite delicious. Here's another question. You're welcome. Here's another question that often comes up, and I don't have the answer, so I'm ready to learn, just like all my listeners. Why is coconut butter healthy for me?
I mean, I'm a big believer that it is. I think you can find research to back whatever side of the issue you fall on. We were always told growing up that fat is so bad for you, clogs the arteries, but I don't believe all fat is created equal. So I do think that this particular fatty acid chain in coconut is a medium chain triglyceride, and you digest this differently. So you digest it immediately in your liver after consuming it, and you use that as energy right away. So I personally believe that this is a good fat that your brain and body needs, and I actually think that in the American diet particularly, and what the FDA is approving, there is not enough of that fat that most people are getting. So I do think it's something that's missing. Of course, we all know that the ketogenic diet is becoming a very trendy thing, and I think that is, this falls into that category, but I also think that people are realizing that fat isn't bad. It isn't causing heart attacks. Obviously, fried food is very different from this kind of saturated fat. But, of course, I'm a believer.
Yeah, there's lots of healthy fats out there. So I definitely agree with you. Absolutely. So is Binnie butter organic, or is it made with organic ingredients?
It is, yes. We finally got our certification last year for our organic certification, and we just became certified ketogenic as well. And we have a vegan stamp of approval as well. So we have a lot of different, our product falls into a lot of different food tribe categories: organic, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, non-GMO, very low in sugar, very low in carbs. So for your listeners, I think that is the positive thing about our products also.
So what about gluten-free? Are the coconut butters gluten-free?
They are gluten-free. We aren't certified, and we do process wheat on shared equipment. We're produced in a facility where we share equipment with other companies that do process wheat. So I just let people know that it's on our label. Also, if you're hypersensitive to gluten, there could be some contamination there, but inherently our products are gluten-free, yes.
And I know, Lindsay, we had a conversation one time about agave as a sweetener and various different sweeteners, and that's always a topic that I come up with people that I speak with and my listeners about, what's my favorite sweetener and all that kind of thing. But I know that, didn't you make a switch from agave?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we did. So when we started, I had used agave. It was kind of on trend at that time, and I thought it was a good sweetener. However, after a year or two in business, we started getting feedback from consumers, and I started researching a little bit more and realized it's not, obviously, just very similar in the way that it acts in the body as high fructose corn syrup. So we made a shift to coconut syrup, which is just coconut sugar, which made sense. It's in the coconut family, the taste profile. It was great. And then we actually have less grams of sugar using coconut syrup than we did with agave. So it's 3 grams of sugar per 2 tablespoons. Only 2 of those are added sugars. So the 1 is inherent in coconut, 2 added. And it's been a really nice shift. I think people appreciate that. There are some trace minerals and some nutritive properties for coconut syrup.
So when I got my hands on some Binnie butter, at first I thought, okay, butter, like solid butter, this is going to be hard to spread. But really, it was very similar. Maybe this isn't a good analogy, but it's for me, it makes sense. Smooth. It was like peanut butter, right? So what makes it easy to spread compared to maybe some other brands out there?
Yeah, coconut is definitely a finicky, rebellious child of mine. It doesn't do what I want it to do all the time. I will say, in the winter months, it solidifies quite a bit more. So depending on what your house temperature is, where you're storing it, what season you're in, you're going to experience our coconut butters a little bit differently. Anything above 76, they can melt. So we just recommend keeping it at room temperature, and that should be a spreadable consistency. Sometimes it does require a little bit of warming, but one thing that I've stuck to from the beginning and will as long as I can is that I don't want to put any additives in it. I don't want any preservatives. I don't want anything that would be a stabilizer or some kind of emulsifier, because that just negates the whole purpose of why I created this product for my family. So we want to keep it as clean as possible. And we try really hard in production to create a creamy consistency, but again, we're not going to add anything to change that. So I think most of our consumers understand that and know. And consumers are demanding that people be transparent how they're manufacturing what they're putting in their body.
So I know, because I can read the minds of my listeners. Here's their next question. What flavors are available?
Yeah. So our unflavored flavor is called Just Coconut, and that's shredded coconut oil. And that has no added sugar, no added flavors. And then from then on, we have all flavored coconut butters. So we have berry vanilla, simply cinnamon, coffee macaroon, sweet maple, and dark chocolate and sea salt. So we've got quite a few different options. All of the flavored coconut butters do have just that 3 grams of sugar per 2 tablespoons. They all have the same amount of sweetener in there.
This is probably like asking you which is your favorite child, but which is your favorite flavor?
Oh, I mean, I go through different, you want chocolate sometimes during the day, and sometimes you want different things. So I don't adhere to just one flavor, but if I had to choose one for the rest of my life, it would probably be chocolate. I love chocolate so much.
Me too.
So,
I'm a chocolate addict. For sure.
Yeah.
So I know that for me, when I tried the product, I was putting it on apples and crackers. I've seen people post on your website or on your Instagram post about oatmeal. Anything else that you could think of that you've heard people spread that butter on?
Yeah. I mean, we have people melt some and pour it over popcorn. We have people melt.
Oh, my goodness.
I've had some people use it more in their dinner recipes, like putting the vanilla on some grilled chicken or fish and then have a balsamic glaze on top, or the cinnamon, they have poured that over a pork chop by melting that first with some pecans. I don't know. People get very creative, way more creative than I am in the kitchen. And, on Instagram we have a feed, #HowIBinnieButter, that pulls up any and every recipe that our customers have posted, that we've posted. So it's a nice just one place that you can go for all of those recipes.
Right away, my brain went to saute in a little bit of olive oil, some fresh cut apples and onions, and kind of caramelize them all, and then add the cinnamon butter to that, and then pour that on top of a pork chop. That caramely, appley, oh yeah.
See, that's where I need you to do some recipe development, because that sounds incredible, and I never would have thought of all of that.
I'm here for you.
Okay, thank you.
You've had some amazing success. I mean, tell the listeners just exactly what types of stores you're in currently.
Right now, we are in primarily the Rocky Mountain region, and we are in Whole Foods, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, King Soopers, and we have our sites on Southern California next, and possibly Texas. We just went to a big trade show and had some retailers excited about our products and ready to take them on. So we're kind of trying to map out where to go next. But, yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and just really grateful for the partnerships we've made.
Yeah, and, of course, so, Lindsay, you're an amazing entrepreneur, super creative person. I mean, you've done an amazing job promoting your brand, and sometimes, people have these success quotes that rattle around in their brain that to help them stay focused. Do you have anything like that?
Yes. I have been following Tony Robbins for a little bit now, and I'm all about optimistic thinking, anything that can keep me in the right mindset that way. So I love the quote that he says that says, if you talk about it, it's a dream. If you envision it, it's possible. But if you schedule it, it's real. That might seem super basic for everybody listening, but for me, I don't know if I have ADD, but I do feel like I have a hard time focusing, and maybe this is the entrepreneurial passion, and maybe a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with this, or it could just be isolated. But I can get a little bit distracted throughout the day as things come into my inbox. Oh my gosh, I've got to do this right now. I need to get over there. And if I schedule my day out, I can be a lot more productive. And I don't like to be held to a schedule, but I have found that it really is truly helpful when I can schedule my day out and get things done that way.
Yeah. So, what's one thing that is really exciting you about your influence in the health eating community?
I think for me, it's a mission for us to change the way people think about and eat healthy fats. So that's our mission. We want to create delicious and easy to eat options for healthy fats. I don't think there's a ton of good products out there that are filling that need in the market. So that is definitely our goal. And also to create products that are affordable for everyone to purchase. So we just launched our squeeze packs, which are a single-serve option, and they're going to retail at anywhere from $1.39 to $1.50.
Okay.
And I think it's just an affordable option for people to try our brand, and if they do like it, to purchase more. And it's backwards to me that the really crappy food is cheap and that all of these incredible products most people can't afford. So I would like to change that, and if I can make even a little bit of an impact there in the food industry, it would mean a lot to me.
That's awesome. And that even includes pancakes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean,
yep.
You just kind of came out with a new product that you're messing around with. I know I've got samples of it in my kitchen. Pancakes, right?
Right, yes. We have Binnie's Keto Cakes. So these are a high-fat, medium amount of protein, low-sugar option for a pancake mix, and they come as a kit. So you get the powder, it's coconut flour and coconut cream powder is the powder form, and then inside of the bag you will get our coconut butters as well. So you mix the coconut butter with the powder, the consumer adds eggs, and a twist on a classic.
Sounds delicious. So, Lindsay, before we get into our little game we're going to play, tell everybody again where they can find you, how do they get your products, how can they reach out to you, the best way to do that.
Yes, we are selling our coconut butters on Amazon and then all of our products on our website. So I think that would be the easiest way. There's a contact form on our website if you want to get a hold of me, and hopefully we'll be in the stores nearby in the future. So we're working on that.
And you have all your links to social media on your website?
Yeah, we do. Yep, handles are just at Binnie's Coconut Butter. So. Yeah,
and I can just tell you, because I know you're not talking about this, but you have the most amazing Instagram account on the planet. It's awesome. Your food photography is really great.
Oh, thank you. Well, I appreciate that. I have been really fortunate to find a really good food photographer. She does a great job, so we're grateful.
Well, awesome. Well, Lindsay, thank you for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Very excited to share your work with all the happy diabetics out there. I'm sure we'll be doing some recipes together.
Thank you so much, and yes, let's do it.
Awesome. Have a great day, Lindsay.
Thanks, Uncle. I appreciate it.
Okay, now it's time for our Rapid Fire 411 with our guest, Lindsay Binnie, founder of Binnie Butter. So, Lindsay, I'm going to ask you a series of rapid fire questions, and you simply choose your preference. For example, butter or olive oil, riding a bike or hiking. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Texting or talking?
Texting.
What's the last song you downloaded?
I don't download songs.
Perfect. Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
Ooh, animals.
Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Invisibility or super strength?
Invisibility.
Okay, is it wrong for a vegetarian to eat animal crackers?
No.
Okay, good. Ham.
Bacon.
Who was your first celebrity crush?
Justin Timberlake, of course.
Okay, Justin. Nice. Place you would most want to travel to?
Italy.
Italy. Favorite childhood TV show?
Double Dare, I think is what it was called.
Okay. Cakes or pie?
Cake.
Okay, one more to go. Are you ready? Roller coaster or merry-go-round?
Roller coaster.
So, Lindsay, if you could sit down and share your amazing Binnie Butter and have dinner with anyone, past or present, who would it be and why?
I would have to say Jesus, because I have a lot of questions for him on how to proceed with this business.
Listen, I'm sure...
Without being cliche, I have
to. I'm sure he would love your Binnie Butter, and I think he would like the chocolate, personally.
If he spit it out, we would just shut this thing down right now. I don't know.
That might be a sign. Well, Lindsay, thank you again for being on the show, and remember, no one loves you more than me, and I'm just so proud of all your efforts. And come on, happy diabetics out there, reach out to Lindsay, try her product. I think you'll really like it.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
Be sure to follow me on all my social links. You'll find them all at happydiabetic.com. Just look for all my links at the top right-hand side of the webpage. If you have a question for me, just go to my website, hit the Contact tab. You ask questions, I'll answer them. And they might even become part of the show. And if I select your question, free cookbooks will be sent via the U.S. Post Office. So if you're loving what you hear in the kitchen, please leave a comment or feedback at Stitcher, Google Play, or iTunes, or wherever you're listening. Your thoughts and comments are always appreciated. They really do mean a lot to me when I hear back from you. So in advance, thank you very much. Our podcast is produced and engineered by Jason Lewis. Our theme music by the Happy Diabetic Kitchen Band and yours truly, Chef Robert on the guitar. And of course, our kitchen mascots, Scout and Tucker. So thanks for tuning in, and let me leave you with this thought. Chef Jamie Oliver once said, if you can eat with mates or friends or family, I mean, it's such a brilliant thing, isn't it? If you feel really rubbish and you have a nice bit of food, it makes you feel good, you know? Okay, so long for now, and remember, no one loves you more than me.